Hey, how's it going? In this video, I'm going to be discussing emotional control and what that is. Emotional control is a crucial aspect of Mentat's training in the Dune series. Either you have read all the books, or perhaps you have seen some of the movies, or you're looking forward to watch some of the upcoming movies. Would like to bring your attention to some of the Mentats and what would be required to be a good mentat. Emotion suppression. Mentats undergo rigorous training to suppress emotional response, particularly during critical decision-making process. This training is essential because strong emotion uh, can cloud judgment and lead to impulsive or irrational decisions. To the very least, depending where you are right now and how you making your decisions, I have covered this area already. How to make a decision if there's something. Some of you perhaps, if you are interested in one of those areas, perhaps that you like to improve in, as well as take your time before making a decision. You don't need to make decisions straight away. You can take your time. You have that. Every decision matters. So perhaps attitude is something that's worth addressing, as well as how you would like to structure a day. I'm touching on that already, as well as we'll be releasing some training in that particular area, how to structure one perfect decision after another. That's a good attitude to have, and how to perhaps uh, think about different ways of what intentions of people around you, or why they've been perhaps if you're in the leader's position, right? Something that I find myself in a lot of situations, right? Sometimes people can be just provocative for sake of being provocative, and they're just trying to test you, I guess. So the best test, do not take a test. So already, I will save 90% of your time. Just do not take that test. Most of the people are just looking to see your emotions, I guess, for whatever reason that might be, and cloud your judgment by reacting to them, and they just being whatever they be. But after time, you might get depending on the situation, right? But most of the time, people are just testing you, I guess. That's at least my understanding. Rational thinking. By suppressing emotions, mentors can think more rationally and objectively. This allows them to assess situations, problems, and data without being swayed by personal feelings or biases. Their ability to maintain a clear, logical mindset is highly valuable in the context of an often treacherous political landscape of the teen universe. Or surround yourself with the good mentors. That would be perhaps what kind of systems you can implement when making decisions to make very good decisions, right? Especially if we're talking about large sums of money. What areas would you like to, even if you're making, you're not necessarily running your business right now, if you're deciding on what career path you should take, who you're gonna consult with, what research you need to do yourself, because there's you need to ask those questions yourself, right? So what area is most promising? What area might be most challenging? Where what would make your life to be fulfilled, right? Objectivity is critical when providing advice or making strategic decisions for noble house or organizations. Mentors are often trusted as advisors precisely because they can offer unbiased analysis and recommendations based on facts and logic rather than emotional attachment or motivations. Uh, Perhaps it's a fiction novel, right? But there are some biases, perhaps, to all the people out there who are gonna be suggesting you or perhaps trying to persuade you move one way or another. Perhaps they have some biases and perhaps try to take those into account. If that would be your mother, perhaps she would like to for you to go into college, not perhaps out of state, but within a state where you are based, within a country where you live, not necessarily travel. Uh, Perhaps just take it then. consulting with perhaps your close circle. Just take that into account. Reduce vulnerability. Emotionally driven decisions can make individuals vulnerable to manipulation or coercion. Mentats with the emotional control are less likely to be influenced by external pressures or emotional appeals, making them valuable assets in negotiation and power struggle. But if anything, this particular part is on reducing vulnerabilities. I would say perhaps restructure that, and I would say increase your options, right? So if you are trying to consider what career path you should take, perhaps that's one way to look at it. Perhaps increase your options. How many universities have there? Business schools. If we're talking about UK, top schools, 120 or so, reach out to every single one, see what they can offer to you, then how they can reduce perhaps your time in university, how they can increase and what opportunities they can offer. Can they introduce you to top 500 companies within UK, and perhaps increase your options, see what customer services they might be interested in offering you, and how they can reduce your time required to achieving your goals. Efficiency. Emotional control also contributes to the efficiency of Mentats' cognitive processes. They can focus on the task at hand without being sidetracked by emotional distractions, which is particularly advantageous when dealing with complex calculations or information analysis. Efficiency. I like this bit. Depending on how old I am, that once you're gonna start developing your underlying systems, not those that might be discussed most of the time, but once you understand how things, not necessarily people like to say how things work, but how things actually work, you would start understanding what efficiency really is, and how to make decisions, and how to approach the particular situations, and what not necessarily people are saying, but what they are trying to say by the words that they're using, and all that will come with it. If not already, that will come. Stress management. In a high stakes world of Dune, methods often work under intense pressure. Myself, yeah, being as a business, I guess, having my own business, running a company, you can only prepare yourself by taking on more responsibilities in everyday job in the beginning, perhaps, if that's a road that you want to take, perhaps learn that and take more and more responsibilities, take more and more stress, perhaps more and more people that you would oversee within your workplace. And from there, start a company if you're looking for new challenges, right? And when you're doing it, try to juggle as many things at the same time as possible, and see if none of those things will fall flat on the floor, right? And the emotional control helps them to manage stress and maintain composure in challenging situations, ensuring that they can continue to provide valuable insights and solutions. Uh, finding a mentor, if anything, I would highly recommend for everyone up there. Finding a mentor, someone who has been with the industry for 10, 20 years, and perhaps that person can reduce your time frame, what will be required to accomplishing similar tasks in a matter. Something if that person took 20 years, that person can reduce your time frame, how long it will take you, to for perhaps 5 years. Would For those of you who are interested to having perhaps or trying new tools, I would highly recommend to have daily planner. The way how I structure this planner, to have it for a quarter, so it would be enough time to develop new habits, to focus on habits that will last. And within a habit, I'm focusing on a 24-hour cycle and how to optimize those 24 hours, and doing most that I can within a matter of 24 hours. And some of those areas I will be highly recommending for you to focus on would be improving dictionary language when it comes to finance and business language and the way how other people operate the business in the past, drawing examples from the past, and you can do your own understanding based on statistics, what kind of expertise those people had, and perhaps some of those areas that you need to improve on. Either way, would highly recommend you go to the link in the description as well as Top Retailers has this journal. On today's topic, it's worth noting that while mentats are trained to suppress emotions, they are not devoid of feelings altogether. They can still express emotions, but they have the discipline and training to compartmentalize then your emotions and necessarily allowing them to function as highly effective analytical and strategic thinkers. I would definitely recommend for you out there, especially if you're looking to launch perhaps number of companies to focus on strategy and analytics, crunching those numbers, and focus on math instead of perhaps feelings. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next one.